getting tattooed.
What?
I don't know what I'm getting. Like when I go there.
You just show up and he's just starts
so
going down?
The wine and cheese
Mm-hmm.
is because he did a show in Amiens, France. And he came home
cool.
and was like, I have an idea. Whatever. He's super talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Well, Tony's a good friend, number
Yeah.
one. Number two, he's a really well-known artist.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that you
incredible.
kind of already had the idea for the...
No.
Just...
Nope. My friend from
You weren't
California.
just like, I want food-related sleeve? Or you
Well,
just,
you kind of. My
started?
friend from California, that's how I met him. My friend from California flies out to get tattooed by him.
Yeah.
So, like 9 or 10 years ago, he
Mhm.
flew out and I met him at the tattoo shop. So that's how I met Tony.
Yeah.
And he was getting tattooed, and I was like talking to Tony, shooting the shit, and he was like talking about food, how he likes food. And I'm like, oh, I always kind of wanted to get a food tattoo. And he just was like, he stopped and looked up. He's like, I'll do that. I was like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, let's book it next week. And I'm like, all right. And we did the pig. The pig was the first one.
Yeah.
The pig with the groceries was the first one.
Nice. And then it just
Kind of evolved into that. I told him I wanted that. The Day of the Dead Chef was my idea, but the rest of it, meat grinders, obviously, Nosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like our baby.
Cool.
The rest of it's all honestly just been him.
Yeah.
He just has ideas and
Just random.
whatever.
Like
he
how
wants
much at
to
a
do.
time does he do? Like.
So I get tattooed. He's very busy, so I get
Yeah.
tattooed. It's weird. Wednesday nights he plays basketball.
Yeah.
So he usually double books like a day shift, a day tattoo and a night tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And Wednesdays he doesn't do the night one. So I go in there at like 5 or 4.
Yeah,
and
and just
get tattooed until he has basketball. So I only do like 4 hours at a clip.
yeah.
That's
So
it.
just kind of whatever you can get done in 4 hours.
Yeah. And obviously I get a different price.
Yeah.
But he won't do hands, and that's what we're fighting over right now.
You won't do hands? You want to go all the way down?
I want to. He won't. Yeah, he doesn't do hands. He doesn't do hands, necks, heads. He doesn't do anything that changes the public's perception of you.
Yeah.
That's like his thing.
That's just his personal.
He has no tattoos. He's an artist.
Really?
He basically is an artist, and then he started drawing and
Mhm.
selling his artwork to Joe Capobianco, who's
Yeah.
like a super famous tattoo artist. He's on his own show on some station.
Yeah.
And he like met him when he was like 20 and was like selling him his art. And then Joe Capobianco was like, I'll buy whatever you can write. So he kept doing that.
Yeah.
He's in Providence at that. And then after a while, Joe was like, you should tattoo. You'll make a lot of money.
Mhm.
And Tony was like, no, I'm not really into tattoos. And
See, because
he
I've had so
he
many
forced him to
people
do it.
been like, you should do tattoos. I'm like, I don't really have any interest in tattoos.
Tony didn't either.
Yeah.
He still doesn't. He has a quarter sleeve on one arm and
Yeah.
a quarter sleeve on the other arm. Neither one of them are finished. So one's by Joe Capobianco and the other one's by Jerry Issel, who's his business partner.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's not interested.
Yeah.
He just said he's an art geek.
Yeah.
Sits
Nice.
in his basement with his, he's like a room, and he draws all night.
Yeah.
He owns a t-shirt. He has two t-shirt companies, and there's a couple art books and DVDs and stuff like that. But
Nice.
it's very
What,
odd.
what are the t-shirt? Well, might as well plug them.
Slow down.
Huh?
Slow down clothing.
Slow down?
Yeah.
Cool. So we're back here at the Craft Beer Cellar in Plymouth, Mass, in their the basement of the cellar, and I'm here with Jake Hill and Mike Morway. Mike Morway is owner, head chef of the Nosh restaurant, and and Jake Hill is the baker for Mike.
Yes,
from my understanding.
I am.
And
It's kind of rogue.
Yeah.
and also a musician, local
Yes,
musician.
I am, yeah.
I'm not really sure if he's a musician anymore.
No? No, come on, you can't give up that sort of
I
thing.
don't give it up, but
So, I mean, I don't know if he's known for that.
right. I'm more known for my baking skills.
Really?
We did a couple long dinners, and we do the Bramhall's dinner. We do these little pop-up dinners in
Yeah.
the Bramhall's country
Yeah,
store.
the long table? Is that the long
The
table?
long table is on the waterfront.
Oh, okay.
But we were talking to people at the long table dinner, and they were asking about the Bramhall's dinner, and I said
Yeah.
it's like a singer and supper thing,
Mhm.
and he plays music,
Yeah.
and they were fascinated because they know him as the baker, but they had no idea that he was a musician. I'm like,
Really?
well, to me, it's hilarious. But
Yeah.
So
he's
how,
taken over a
like,
whole new
which came
persona.
first?
Well, I've been a singer-songwriter for over 10 years now, somewhat professionally, and sort of different aspects and facets of it, but now it's my bread and butter, and it's actually how I make myself live, and now people know me as the baker.
Which is
and,
great.
I love that so much.
The story is that Jake was basically, because he's a singer-songwriter, so he doesn't really play out a lot either. He writes music and records and whatever. And he got into cooking, into like a family thing. I guess.
Yeah.
And he was like sending me pictures of his English muffins that he was messing around with.
Yeah, just kind of like mess around with
Yeah.
the kitchen.
I'm making these English muffins from scratch. I'm like, that's dope, man. Good for you. And he's like, I'm gonna make some for Bramhall's, dude. I want to do like an English muffin, like a breakfast thing at Bramhall's, and make like 40 of them. And he's cooking on this like one of those little plug-in flat tops.
Right, yeah.
Come to Nosh, man. Like, use my kitchen. You cook them on the flat top in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he's never left. That's basically how it started.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
he
cool.
bribed me with technology and tools. You know,
Yeah.
And,
Instead of cooking one at a time.
I'm like, I'm gonna get a baker out of this.
yeah,
That's
and,
awesome. Is baking, like, and hopefully I'm not insulting anybody, but cooking is an art form and baking is a science. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's easier to fuck up baking than.
yeah.
It's easier to mess it up. Yeah.
It
It
is
depends on the level.
right.
Yeah.
Like you can make food, but you're not making like. There's a
I
lot.
don't know. I've made a few things baking that wouldn't even justify being called food.
Well, I'm sure that
Yeah.
people make food that doesn't. Really
Well, I suppose
justify
that's
food,
right.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even people
Garbage.
that call themselves chefs or people that call themselves, you know,
Yeah.
advanced cooks that like just really mess up very elemental things. Where if you understood the science of it, like almost like from a baking standpoint, like how you need to start potatoes, you know, with the right water in order to get the right starch level to make the right mashed potatoes. That's also science. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
As measuring the right amount of baking powder to put into a quick bread. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You can fix cooking with, you know, acid and salt and
Bacon.
That's a science.
yeah,
though. The
and
science.
bacon. Yeah, right. So, but
Yeah.
it's so much similar to me. And now that I started baking with, it has to be, I was like, okay, it is a science. You have to be very specific about all these things. And you do have to be
Yeah,
very
if you
specific about
don't.
them. But then once you realize how they operate and you take away these, take away the hard parts, take away the hard edges of it, you can then manipulate it with, you know, flour, water, butter, and everything. And it's interesting. Cause
It's the same idea as like having a recipe.
Yeah.
And once
Yeah.
you cook it so many times, you
You
like
can kinda
throw
mess
that in the
around
trash
with it,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
I don't understand
A little more of that,
the
a little
acid
more
part
of
of it,
this.
the sear part of it, the
Yeah.
salt part of it, and the whole thing makes sense, kind of.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But you can only do one or the other. It's like an electrician and a plumber.
Yeah.
I don't bake.
Yeah.
I can bake.
Yeah.
I don't.
But not as good as baker.
if I wanted to, I could. But it's not what I do.
Well, it's just a
Yeah.
commitment of time and
Yeah.
learning to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you guys get to know each other? Was it through you playing at Nosh?
Yeah, no, through
No.
playing
At
many
another
years
place.
ago
Yeah.
at another restaurant,
Yeah.
probably 8-9 years ago.
Yeah. I used to do the booking for another restaurant years ago.
Yeah.
And
He was part of the whole like local music scene. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then I used to go to a and then he suddenly disappeared a little bit. And I used to go to this coffee shop every morning before work, and he would always be sitting in the coffee shop, with like headphones on in front of the computer. And that's kind of when he blossomed
Yeah.
as an artist. It's like he kind of like stepped away from the party scene a little bit,
Yeah.
took it seriously, which I respected. I was like, oh, this guy, 7:30 in the morning, he's out writing music.
Right.
Like,
Where
good for you,
a
man.
lot of
Like,
other
it's a-
musicians
yeah.
aren't even out of bed.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I was like, wow,
Nice.
good for you, man.
yeah, and then just recently in the past year and a half, I was, you know, cooking for the family because of family reasons, and I just got so addicted to it. And Mike was like, "Come on in," you know.
Because he's like, oh, I'm going to bring my baker, Jake Hill. I'm like, I know Jake Hill, that's not a baker.
He's a baker.
That's great.
It happened at like such a perfect time for everybody. Like I needed to get out of the house, and he saw that, and he's been in a similar situation in life. And,
Yeah.
but we also think sort of the same way, but differently enough in order for it to work and to challenge each other and just push it. And now it's just like turned into something way different than I thought it would be, but like exactly the way I wanted it to be. And the fact that everybody's fired up and
People would dig
working
it.
hard.
Yeah.
People are loving it. And so much. I was drawing all these doing all these comparisons.
Yeah.
Very difficult word. Very hard word.
Comparisons between music and baking.
Music and baking and
Yeah.
cooking and everything in general.
It's the same obsession.
You
Yeah.
know?
Art, I'm sure, is the same
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Like I obsess about what I do.
Right.
And never good enough. It's always garbage.
And when you're
People
doing
are like, oh my god, it's, I'm like, nah.
and when you're
it's
doing
garbage.
something else, you're always thinking about.
Right.
I wake
what-
up in the middle
what
of the
you'd rather
night
be
and
doing,
take
yeah.
messages, and I
Yeah.
obsess about like. I get very
I always bother
excited
my
too.
girlfriend, be like, oh, do you think this is a good idea? What do you about this?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever.
My girlfriend is like a psychopath,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she like is
Right.
okay with it.
Accepts
Which is
it.
which is
Yeah.
great.
It's not too much.
It's the same though. I mean, my friend Tony, that's an artist. He's obsessed about it. Same thing. He's like he stays up till 3, 4 in the morning and just drawing and
Yeah.
obsessing about ideas. And it's the same thing with food and music and art. There's no.
It is that,
It's super
and that's
similar.
kind of like what brought upon this podcast is that creative people are pretty much all the same. They just
Yeah.
have different outlets,
Right.
and
Psychopaths.
oh yeah,
Pretty
definitely.
much.
I really, honestly, I think they are all
Yeah.
kind of dark people.
Yeah.
and they have some. They are. They have
Yeah.
some demons, and
Oh, yeah.
it's almost like this is how they deal with it.
Yeah. It's a very healthy way to deal with it.
Oh, absolutely.
When other
Yeah.
people are.
Most of the time,
bottling it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We don't bottle it. We just
Yeah.
push on what we can do.
Right.
So what brought you to cooking? And I don't want to ask you like when you started cooking because I feel like that's such a weird.
I started cooking when I was 16,
Really?
and I've never done anything else. So.
Yeah. So was
Honestly, I
that
don't
like your
even know.
first job?
Yeah.
That-
I've never done anything else.
you
in my
never
entire
cooked
life.
like prior to 16? Or?
No.
Yeah.
My first job, my only job.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know. I just like fell into it.
Yeah. And it
I
just
started off as like a bus boy. I think I was working in a hotel as a bus boy and a room service person.
that sounds like that's
And
terrible.
then, I mean, I was 16, so for me it was like, oh, I just got a check for $120.
Right.
Buy some
Woohoo!
beer. And then the kitchen guy's like, want me to buy some beer for you? I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Dude, you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then I like idolized the cooks because they were just like, I don't know, they were like dudes. They were cool guys. Now that I look back at them, I'm like, oh man, those dudes are crazy.
Yeah. I think you posted a picture of the front of house versus back of house, where like the front of house is all these very proper looking
So different,
dressed
yeah.
people, and back of the house I think was a
Yeah.
picture from Sons of Anarchy or
Yep,
something like that.
pretty much how it is.
And yeah,
And my
it seems-
kitchen staff is comprised of like complete psychopaths. And that's how it should be, though. That's
Yeah.
the way the kitchen works.
Yeah.
It's like a weird. It's such a weird thing. No one's been able to like nail it down on like a television way or a movie way.
Yeah.
Or it's never been pinpointed yet. I think that movie Waiting was the movie Waiting was cool as far as the banter between front of the house and back of the house and
Yeah.
how a restaurant works, but no one's ever been able to really pinpoint
Well, that was definitely
craziness that goes
more
on.
geared towards the wait staff. and
Yeah, it's
the
a
back.
great movie.
Yeah.
But the kitchen people, Anthony Bourdain's book, Kitchen Confidential,
Yeah.
is the book. That's like
That's
real.
That's the one that you should check out.
If you read it and you think it's so crazy and it's real,
Yeah.
that's basically what it is. That's why he's famous.
Yeah.
He was just a cook at some place. He wrote a book.
Yeah.
He was actually
it-
in P-Town.
Oh, was he really?
He worked in P-Town, and then he went to New York City and he was working as a line cook at the time. And then
Yeah.
he wrote that book. It's like,
This is what it's like.
yeah, and it became what Anthony Bourdain is now.
Yeah. Which is
Super famous.
It's super famous, and I was
Very
watching
well
just the other day on
respected.
Netflix. You know,
He's awesome.
Going
Yeah.
to like
He's the Mick Jagger of the food world.
yeah, very
He's
much
like
a rock star. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to places that no one else would go to
He's the
at
only
all.
guy that's like, fuck you, Emerald, and
Yeah.
Guy Fieri's a douchebag. But he's that's
Yeah.
who he is. And he doesn't care. And that's why he's famous, though.
Yeah.
But that book is great.
Are there any other kind of like celebrity chefs that you kind of look to,
I don't really listen to.
or is that just more like the layperson's kind of thing?
I mean, I follow. I mean, no, not really. I'm like self-obsessed.
Yeah.
So it's not really. I don't really follow. I respect people like David Chang, who's like changing stuff. Roy Choi brought the food truck thing to America and like, blew it up. And there's a lot of celebrity chefs, but I obsess about what I'm doing. I'm too obsessed with what I'm doing. You can't really
Spend time thinking about what they're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
You have to obsess with what's going on here and the market here and the products. I think we would get more like focused on the grist mill. We're trying to be like very local, Plymouth, and fresh.
Yeah.
We're becoming more obsessed with what I'm doing, which is great.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not really sure if it's smart.
Right.
I don't respect it.
Yeah.
It's like horrible.
Barely
like-
make it work as a business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's horrible for business. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like angry about it, and I want to just scream at the rooftop. Like, it just made like so. For example, which I said I wouldn't do this, but Speedwell Coffee, incredible coffee roaster in Plymouth, right over by the airport.
Okay.
We have them at Nosh, only until recently too, because I was also, for some reason, never thought about it until his drummer and his band, actually Larry, is a roaster there. We
Yeah.
were like shooting the shit, having a beer one day, talking, and I'm like, why don't I have your coffee? He's like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, I want it. And he was like, oh, I'll get you some price. I'm like, I don't care about the price. Like, you're a local coffee roaster in Plymouth. I should carry you. Everyone should. And then I realized, like, no one does.
No
Like,
one does? Yeah.
the coffee shops on the street both use them.
Yeah.
But it's incredible coffee. And I'm like, I don't know what. And then now it makes me angry. Now I'm like out and I obsess about it. Like I stare, I like look at places and I'm like,
Why don't you have this?
why don't you have Speedball? Like,
Yeah.
you should have Speedball only because they're Speedball. And the same thing, I have like a really close relationship with Pepe, the owner of
Dirty Water, yeah.
And it makes me very angry when I go to a place and there's no dirty water. I'm like, dude, this is a really rad distillery down,
They're
a small
so
batch
great.
distillery on
Because
Main
we
Street
do
in
pop
Plymouth.
up
Are
our
you
shows
kidding me?
with them, and
Dude.
they're awesome.
And I just don't get it. I'm like, oh, it makes me angry. I just got to get over this whole like thing. I feel like everyone should support each other.
Well,
And it makes me excited when they're like, cause I'm like good friends with Pepe,
yeah.
and he's very excited about what he does, which makes me excited. And
Yeah.
he buys all of his produce from me.
Mm-hmm.
He'll buy like, what, 120 pounds of like mandarin oranges
Yeah.
from me, from my
Yeah,
local
the
grower.
Clementine
And he
is my
Clementine,
absolute
sorry.
favorite.
And he hand peels
Yeah.
them and makes his vodka with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, why aren't people carrying? Like, everybody in town should be carrying that.
Yeah,
'Cause
and it's
that's
so
the way it
good.
should be.
Right.
It's so
great.
good.
It's great.
Quality
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
It's on point.
Yeah.
So that's what I obsess about.
We were there maybe a month and a half ago doing a pop-up show, and we were talking about how if you eat local honey within a certain mile radius
Yeah.
of where you live, it helps you with your allergies.
Yeah.
Some woman bought 4 bottles of their honey liqueur. She's like, "This is my new medicine." We're like, "I
That
think
stuff's
you have a problem."
delicious.
Oh, it's so good. I got a bottle at home.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I
The
love
Clementine
it.
doesn't last. I've already got to do that.
The thing is that in America, in the business world, it makes more sense to carry Absolute Orange or whatever. Like it's cheaper.
Yeah,
or,
it's
or whatever.
cheaper.
Mass produced. They give you like buy deals and all that.
Mhm.
But I just think everyone should not be about that.
But I feel like in Plymouth, especially these couple streets here, not everybody, but I feel like there's a really good support system.
It's growing.
Yeah,
It's growing.
and
It's getting
because
stronger.
we've kind of, we've been Inebri-art's been around since 2011, but just in the past couple of years, it's getting to the point where people like, even Tatum here at the Cellars, like, I want you to use the classroom downstairs, and I'm like, I didn't even know you had one. She's
Yeah.
like, oh no, definitely, and I want you to do stuff. And
We
I'm like,
actually did a
okay.
beer. Me and Jake did a beer class down here with
Yeah.
Oma Gang. It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's how the beer bread was invented.
Actually, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beer
Wonderful
bread.
We make a beer bread with Mayflower porter and
Yeah.
the spent grains from dirty water.
Yeah.
With heat. So I keep saying we. I guess if I
That's-
pay
No, it's your restaurant. As you
I'm
know,
taking credit for it.
why not,
All I did was direct it.
That was the thing.
I want a beer bread.
That was
How
the
do you do
thing.
that? I'm like, Google it. Literally, that's how it happened. I told Tate, and I'm a dickhead too, because I always do this. I'm like, I like put it on the menu before we ever even try it out how to make
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, that's how I
That's
do
funny.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like
Because
a
it makes
challenge.
sense to him.
Yeah.
He
It's a challenge.
understands flavor profiles so well that
I do it all the time. I
Well,
put stuff on menus,
I
and I
kinda-
never
I haven't
want
I
to
do the
seen
same
that
thing. I
stuff.
call the fish. I'm like, we should do a podcast, and he's like, so I guess I'm learning how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, go do that and
Figure it out.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. Go figure it out.
yeah, I trust you. Your brains.
But
Even this place though, like it's so rad.
oh, this place is.
It's so
I
cool.
love and hate
Tom's
the fact that I
Tavern,
found
awesome. It's just a cool thing.
Yeah.
The town, there's like the percentage is small, but not small. The town's getting super cool.
it. Yeah. Oh, very
It's
much.
not there, But the parts that are there are really cool. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hope it grows and becomes more and more and more
Mhm.
like what it is. Like, the beer cellar is so cool.
I know I ran out into you outside of the Spire.
That place is cool.
I have
Jake's
not
actually-
been there yet. Have you played there?
He's
I'm on the board of directors.
Oh, no
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that place is incredible. I've seen shows
Yeah.
there, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like this beautiful old chapel or
Yeah,
whatever
church,
you call it,
whatever.
church is
Yeah.
like turned into this amazing music venue, and it's right downtown. You can just
Yeah.
walk down.
Oh,
You're on the
it's-
water. You're looking at the ocean.
Yeah, it's
And go see
fantastic.
these
I haven't,
incredible
like I said, I
artists,
haven't had a chance to get in there, but like everything I hear about is
Oh,
just,
it's super cool.
It's crazy.
This town
Yeah.
is going to be so cool in 10 years as long as that
Yeah.
everything flows the way it's flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also saw that you're playing next Wednesday
Yep.
down at the
Park
water
Cards,
there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Down at
that's
the,
the,
Pilgrim State Park there.
and that's a pretty cool thing down
Yeah,
there that
it's
they
awesome.
do every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a great thing. We've done it a bunch of years now, and it's just, I mean, it's perfect, weather permitting, but just, it's a place where you can have like 500 people.
Yeah.
For free, and community event.
Me and my girl went to dinner last night. We made the mistake of trying to drive down by there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it took us like 15 minutes just to go the stretch of road.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
because
cool. Right.
every 5 feet you stop and like 10 people cross
Yeah,
in front of
Yeah.
you. But no, it's a very cool thing that they do.
Yeah.
So, now at the Nosh, the one thing that I really like that you guys are doing over there is there's great places to eat in town, but a lot of times you go and you read, okay, well, this is a chicken dish, but I don't really know all the ingredients, and I don't really know what this is going to taste like. But Nosh is like, hey, it's mac and cheese, and we're making it relatable, and
Yeah,
it's
it's supposed to be like
phenomenal.
comfort food.
Yeah, yeah.
Elevated.
But somehow
really
it's,
changes a
it's
lot.
elevated, but so, like
It should taste the same.
you use like the fresh ingredients, but then you're like, oh, we added Doritos to it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's,
That just made me look crazy.
but no, it was great. But it's Cheeto mac and
Cheetos
cheese.
right
That
now.
one I haven't
Cheeto
tried
mac,
yet.
yeah.
But
Cheeto Mac. We change the Mac every menu
yeah,
just because I get bored. We change the menu every 3 months because I have like
to
a
keep it seasonal.
not well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's seasonal, but it's mostly because I get bored.
Yeah.
I like to
And-
be challenged.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I walked into your restaurant, the thing that I noticed right away, and I think was probably the first thing we ever talked about, was the fact that it's very Banksy heavy.
It was. It's not Banksy heavy at all. All my Banksies are now back at my house, ready
Yeah.
to be hung up somewhere else.
But it's still got some Banksy art.
A little
Painted
bit,
right
yeah.
on the walls,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But the Banksies are gone.
yeah.
Only because I want to put them somewhere else.
So you obviously had interest in art as well.
Yeah, I love graffiti art. That's what I was just saying. I'm looking for graffiti artists, tattoo artists. I love graffiti art.
Yeah.
Super cool. Banksy is incredible. His message, and I mean, he's kind of old. He's kind of too popular at this point. but
Yeah, but he
years
somehow
ago-
walks that fine line between having a message and a sense of humor.
Yeah, I have a friend that went to school in London years ago, and he kind of brought up it was like a long time ago, and I used to
Yeah.
live in Providence, so it was
Yeah.
like back then, and talking about bank, and he was friends with Obey, went to RISD.
Oh
He's
yeah,
actually from
Shepherd Curry.
Providence. Yeah, Shepherd Curry's from Providence, so they're all friends with him, and they were talking about the
Yeah.
whole scene, and
I
it's
actually
super
met
cool.
the art teacher who gave Shepherd Ferry the assignment that led to Obey.
So I remember the Andre the Giant thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The stickers.
Yeah,
They started off
definitely.
as stickers. I
Right.
was living in Providence at the time.
So you
It
would
was
see them
all over.
everywhere,
We walking
yeah.
on the sidewalk, and there were just those Andre the Giant stickers all over everything. And you
Yeah.
were like, "What the hell's going on?" And now he's like, I mean, he's in like Newbury Comics now. So
Oh, he's everywhere.
so
yeah.
rich,
Yeah.
so rich. But good for him. He like went out on a limb and
Mhm.
tried something new, and it worked.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Who's this annoying kid?"
Yeah. yeah.
But the people
Right.
that liked him liked him. It just kind of grew.
So what will we be seeing on the future of Nosh's menu? Are there any, like, when is the next menu out?
It should have been out last weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm going to California for a
Oh,
little while.
Nice.
So when I get back, upload a new menu.
Cool. Anything?
It's on it.
Cuban
The
schnitzel.
shepherd's pie tots.
Those are exceptional.
Those are always back because they're popular.
Yeah, Mike and Jay
Different
brought us
corn.
snacks, so
Yeah.
always appreciate it.
The I don't think the mac and cheese are on there. The Cuban schnitzel is gonna be cool.
Cuban schnitzel.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I don't remember what's on it, dude. I write these menus,
Yeah.
and then I forget. Because I also have a catering company, like an event company, so we're doing a Brand Malls dinner Saturday night. We do these like 5-course or 10-course or whatever dinners all the time, so I'm constantly writing menus and prepping food.
And you do the long table dinner down here.
That was
with the
last
water.
weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend we did that, and then this coming weekend we have Brand Malls.
So what is Brent Malls? And what?
The country store in Chiltonville.
I don't
I think it's the oldest store in America.
It's one of the oldest operating stores in America.
Yeah, it's like a really, really cool country store. I think it was the history. I don't even know.
It used to be a cobbler's shop,
And then it was like a post office.
Yeah, it was one of the first post offices.
It's right over in Chiltonville. It's like a really
right
cool
past
building.
The hospital on Salem Street.
Yeah,
and,
it's like a room, one of those rooms you walk into and you're like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So old,
so
so cool. And we do, I shouldn't say we, I don't do it. Jake and Ben from Ben
He's
Bramhall.
always stealing your thunder. I've noticed that.
Yeah. I'm just the hired chef for the
Yeah.
event. So Jake and Ben Bramhall came up with an idea to do. Actually, it was right after the English muffin thing. Do dinners there.
Yeah.
And do these like dinners with, because Jake's also a musician.
Yeah.
They do music and dinners like it's small, 24 people tops.
Yeah.
With like beer and wine, and then they asked me to help them out, and I've been doing them ever since.
Nice. And
It's
now do you
such a
get
cool
the?
event.
Like, is it? I assume you sell tickets to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get them at the Chilton
Yeah.
Hill.
At the Bramhall store.
At the Bramhall.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. They're like $100 a piece.
It's really the coolest thing I've ever done.
5 to 10 courses.
Yep.
Songs.
No, 5 courses. We did 10 once.
Yeah.
Because I was being a cocky.
We
We pulled it off. It was
6
no
or
more.
7.
It was the
We like
worst.
sneak in courses here
Yeah.
and there. It's been so cool.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel called Plymouth Food Police.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we just released the last dinner, which was
Yeah.
a 10-course Osteria pasta dinner. Because I'm like, I could do 10 courses.
In 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Oh,
it was
my
so we had
God.
to have a plate in front of you every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So like we dropped
Oh,
the plate,
yeah.
and then I was just like flying around the kitchen
Yeah.
trying to get the next plate course like
Yeah.
ready. So clean and then plate again. 15 minutes for 2 hours.
That's crazy.
We pulled it off.
Yeah.
But I almost fell over. I was like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. It was cool though.
Yeah.
We had a blast doing it.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing I've ever done.
And now I also heard that you helped out Dirty Water Distillery and made them bacon and shot glasses.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I failed.
Oh no.
That's one of those things where I put it on the menu.
Yeah.
I told Pat, I'm like, dude, I got this. I failed.
Yeah.
So we gave them some chocolate cups. They had
Okay.
chocolate shot glasses.
Yeah.
But I tried doing it in dairy. It should have worked. If I put more time into it, I could have pulled it off. But I was also one of the guest chefs at the Drink Craft Beer Fest in Boston
Mhm.
that weekend. So I was like, kind of. I don't want to say I was half-assing it because I wasn't. Oh no, that was a long table dinner. I have so much shit going on. It was a long table dinner.
That was
yeah.
within a 10-day period of.
Yeah, it was
4
10 days
different
of
crazy
huge
things.
events going on.
Yeah.
You
I
tried
didn't
to-
half-ass it, but I tried it 3
Yeah.
times, and I called Pepe, and I was like, dude, the bacon is not responding the way I thought it would, and I can't. I wanted to do like a bacon. I wanted to bake bacon, like in a pie tin
Yeah.
with a bottom, and then pull them out and then dip them in chocolate. So I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. It
Didn't work.
just couldn't. It wouldn't
Yeah,
hold the shape.
it wouldn't
very
stay
long.
inside, and then it would fold in. Then I flipped it over and would try to wrap it around the outside,
Yeah.
and it just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it again someday.
Yeah.
I gave him some chocolate. You got chocolate shot glasses
Yeah,
out of it though.
that's pretty cool.
The bacon thing's gonna work sometime. I was so pissed. I've done it with eggs. You do like catering.
Yeah.
You put the bacon, you blanch the bacon, then you put it in a pie tin. Then you pour scrambled eggs in it and bake it, and they pop out. It's like little.
And then the bacon,
cups.
the egg must
But
help
the-
hold it together.
Yes,
in the
that's
right
what
shape.
happened.
Yeah.
The egg wasn't there, so the bacon wouldn't
Fold
stay.
in. Yeah.
Damn it! So I got to figure out that, but
Yeah.
that was one of my.
Well, the worst case scenario is you get to eat bacon when you screw up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
So you have a bacon thing, and I
Bacon
saw.
world champion.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that at the World Food Championships you won the bacon, or was it second, or did you come in first?
That's first place.
Was it
Bacon,
first?
the world bacon champion right now. Up until November is the next competition. So.
Yeah. So what did you do to like? What was the winning dish?
Oh, I don't even remember. So basically, the World Food Championship is like a big deal. It's 11 days long.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1,200 chefs, and you compete every other day, and it runs like
Every other day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it runs like, and then the days in between you have to like interview. It was on TV, so they
Yeah.
do like that interview thing, and they kind of edit it all in.
Right.
So you do a day of competing, and then a day of interviews, and a day of competing.
Yeah.
But it run like golf, so it was like a leaderboard, and it was a running score
Oh,
the whole
shit,
time. So
yeah.
it wasn't like I did one. We did a bunch of dishes.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like one thing. And
Yeah.
they all were bacon themed dishes. Or?
So every course was themed and mystery ingredient with bacon
okay.
for our thing. And we won our thing, and then we went to the world finals, which was the 11 champions of each category.
Yeah.
And we came in second, which was kind of shitty
Yeah.
because we lost $300,000. But
Oh, well, that sucks. But
yeah, so we won some money.
Yeah, second not bad.
No, second's not good. It's shady.
Yeah.
It was the first year they allowed barbecue.
Oh, really?
Which I'm also the Guinness World Record holder of barbecue, so I
did
love
see that
barbecue.
for making
yeah.
the largest sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a KCBS judge. Like, barbecue's dope. I love it.
Yeah.
But barbecue and cooking is way different.
Yeah.
So this is the
definitely.
first year they actually allowed barbecue in. The problem is that, so on the competition, they had like, the categories are like steak, seafood, pasta, bacon, burger,
Mhm.
dessert,
Yeah.
and then barbecue. So when you won your category, we competed in those categories in the final. All the champions of the categories competed against each other.
Yeah.
Now they weren't allowed to compare your dish against the other dishes. They could only judge it as the dish against itself.
Right. Okay.
So we like roll in and we have an hour to cook in the finals with like a mystery ingredient. No, it wasn't a mystery ingredient. Sorry, you had to just make your own dish. We did this crazy bacon thing with like a bunch of different aspects of it.
Yeah.
And the whole time we were there, the barbecue people were just sitting in lawn chairs because they were allowed to come in the night before.
Oh,
there
because
was-
it's barbecue.
Yeah.
So you can't.
So
cook
we
in an
did
hour, yeah.
we did this thing we called smoke and mirrors, and we did bacon powder, bacon wrapped bacon. We did a bunch of crazy shit. Bacon chips. We put it on a mirror. We had liquid nitrogen under it, so it was like smoking around the mirror. So it was like a mirror
Oh,
on
wow.
blocks of smoke on it. It was crazy with
Yeah.
all these different elements, like a bunch of shit going on. And then we lost by like 2 points to burnt ends
The barbecue.
on kale. Because as burnt ends, I mean, I tried it, they were delicious.
Yeah.
But we were cooking.
Right.
And we were
Right.
sitting in chairs.
Right.
And then when the smoker was done, they just opened it
Open
up
it
and
up
they put
and-
it on a bed of kale,
Kale,
and they
yeah.
won. And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. And everyone else agreed. Like,
Yeah.
everyone else, like the pasta people were like rolling out pasta and running around, and this
Right.
guy's just like chilling in
Chilling.
his brisket was delicious, but it's not the same thing.
No.
It's not.
It is very laid back.
And I love
cooking style.
barbecue.
Oh,
But
yeah.
barbecue is a cooking competition.
So, we are blessed and cursed living in New England as far as
The
barbecue.
barbecue's horrible. But I just did a barbecue festival at Drink Craft Beer. Blue Ribbon was there, and Red Bones.
Where would you go for barbecue?
Here or
Locally.
anywhere?
Here.
Locally?
I mean, fairly local.
I'll just make it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had BT's hookup?
In Sturbridge?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, haven't been there yet.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And if you follow Jolly Bean,
Yeah, I love Jolly Bean. The girl, Amanda's great.
I have only messaged her on Twitter when I
Mhm.
found out that they make pulled pork sandwiches from BT's.
Oh, really?
pork. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it turns out she's from Sturbridge, I guess.
Incredible.
Yeah. whenever-
Amanda and Kimmy,
yeah.
like, that place is incredible.
Yeah.
Jolly Bean. I wish Jolly Bean was downtown, because I would go
So
there right now.
I'm lobbying for them to kind of get brisket, because there's brisket there is just.
Is it?
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm super snotty when it comes to barbecue.
All right.
Yeah, I've done a barbecue trip. I did like a 2-week road trip by myself, down south and up around,
Yeah.
and just had like some of the craziest barbecue ever.
What was the best?
I had a brisket at a place called Vans, which was in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It was an old gas station turned into like a little barbecue joint. It was to die for. I had I don't remember so many cool things about that trip. I had the best fried chicken of my life at a place called Babe's in Roanoke, Texas. It's just different when you go down there and you
Yeah.
have these people that own these little restaurants that have been doing it for like 80 years.
Yeah, with the
Like,
same recipe,
the
the same
same-
change. Yeah.
The grandchildren. You know
Right,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like they're
Yeah,
waking
yeah.
up in the morning, it's just different. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't compare it around here. It's not the same.
Well, you should check out the beaches if you get
Yeah,
a
I've
chance,
heard
because
of it. Yeah, I'm a judge, so I've heard like it's dope.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other place I can't. Which is
There's been several
sad.
other places I've tried there, and you're like, It's okay.
Blue Ribbon's not bad.
Yeah. Where is Blue Ribbon? I've never.
There's one in Newton and one in forget, Brookline maybe. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Little tiny little whatever.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, I mean they're decent. It's
Yeah.
not like down south.
Yeah.
Down south's way different.
Yeah. Well, down south they'll like wait in line all day.
I've also
A
done
chance to get
competitions, and competitions are. The problem is I've done a bunch of competitions, and those
Yeah.
things change your mind a little bit because competitions, these guys they're buying like Wagyu beef and they're marinating them and brining them with one piece.
Yeah.
No restaurant's ever going to do that.
Right.
So this
right.
is competition-wise, when you start eating that food, it kind of ruins all the restaurant things because these guys are putting so much care into one. They
To
like
one-
4 days on a
to
brisket,
one piece, right?
and you're like, wow. But
But you're not gonna
there's
do
a
that
guy,
same
he's
thing.
on a TV too. He's on some TV show. Cool Smoke Barbecue out of Virginia. He's on one of those that barbecue pitmasters, right?
I've heard of the show. Yeah.
So there's
I think
one
I've
of the
seen a couple
judges.
Yeah.
I know one of the judges, and his competition barbecue is
Yeah.
like the craziest thing I've ever had in my life. But again, he was like importing beef from Japan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I mean, you're talking $350,000 for the Grand Royale.
Right, right.
Good brisket, 350 grand. So
Yeah.
you're gonna call Japan and get
Right. Get some.
some beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not gonna go to
absolutely. Yeah.
Sturbridge and get that.
No,
Doesn't mean
no.
the dude in Sturbridge isn't killing it.
Right. They're just not
ruins
gonna
you.
do the same.
No.
For a whole.
No, it would be
restaurant.
like $175 for a brisket sandwich. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? Like what? Like where do you? What's the plan?
No plans.
No
plans.
plans.
Yeah, you don't seem like a
No
planning kind of guy.
plans.
We have plans. We have ideas.
You got
Yeah.
dreams and ideas and
Yeah.
things that will probably maybe happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Having too much of a plan in such a
Doesn't work.
volatile environment doesn't work because like you're trying like trends, trends don't work. If you're like looking at a trend, it's already done, But like really caring about food and really putting your time into it shows,
Yeah.
Love like it is the secret ingredient in food.
And you can
Especially Mike's food. Like Mike's food's crazy, and I just started I had known Mike for years and years, and then he opened a restaurant, and I started coming there like way too much. Like
Yeah. Yeah, before you worked there, it's like 5 days a week.
Yeah, like it was
Walking
like
around the corner, you'd be
sneaking
like-
in for a lunch, then like 2 nights a week dinner with the old lady, and like and then it's just like it happened. So everything's happened in the past year with me and Mike, and Mike's been doing his thing for 20 years, and now he has me to fucking worry about.
I'm excited about the
Keeping the stoke
area.
up,
Yeah.
Plymouth.
Like
yeah.
we walked over to I'm so awful with names. So damn it, I hate that. So the grist mill got bought by Plymouth Plantation.
Yes.
So they grow the corn at the plantation, like old school style, like with the lobster bodies and everything.
Oh really?
Fish
They
heads
dry it out,
like
and now they own the grist
fertilizer.
mill, so they send it over to the grist mill, and they mill it, and that's where we get all of our cornmeal and
Really?
syrup for grits.
I didn't know they were doing
And
that.
like
there.
we're
Yeah.
over there, and
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
as
that's
excited
cool.
about it as we are, which
Yeah.
excites me.
It's a
I'm
very
over
new
there.
venture for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But they have-
And they get excited,
yeah.
like he's like showing me this like new product, and they're getting this crazy product in, and I get excited, and I'm like, oh man, it's basically the last like 4 dinners we've done, I've had grits on.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited about what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, the grist mill's like making these grits, and they're so delicious. It's
Oh,
like,
that's cool. I've never had
now we're
grits.
playing around with spent grains.
Yeah.
Never had grits?
Never had grits.
Oh man.
I got to
Come on
go
in.
there.
Dude.
Such a cool southern thing that
Yeah.
it should come back around here. I don't know if it's ever been here.
No,
Yeah,
but
it
as far
should
as
be.
I know,
It should be.
It's like porridge,
It's
but
so
like,
good.
It's basically, but it's been around everywhere forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just corn-based product.
But when you hit the
Meals,
corn-based product on the point that the
Right.
grist mill is hitting
Right.
it at,
Yeah.
it's not even me. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
those are the best grits I've ever had. What did you do? And I'm like, I bought them from
I
a
wa-
really great
yeah.
purveyor.
I walked across
Right.
the
Yeah,
street
and
where they
he
milled them.
loves
Yeah.
what he does.
That's awesome.
That's it. It's just
Yeah.
the product. That's it. I'm not doing
Corn
anything
was
special.
Harvested at the right time.
Yep.
Dried for the right amount of time, and then milled properly.
Through
this-
through the river.
Yeah.
Using the
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I
water-powered
mean, is it like a
stone
serious like
mill.
old stone?
Dude,
Yeah.
is it the
mill at
original
grist
mill
mill,
yeah,
from
they're using
Plymouth?
it.
That's
Using it.
crazy.
The
This is the
plantation
same
model, so
thing.
they're doing it old
You can't
school,
break
yeah.
it. It's something
It's
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
400 years old.
It's like the
almost.
coolest thing ever. I'm like,
That is really cool.
Jess from New World is using it too. She's like just as fired up as I am about
Yeah,
it. Like, she gets like the blue cornmeal. Like they dropped that blue cornmeal from the lot, and you can see it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when we post like pictures of similar food for a while, it's because we just got something cool.
Yeah.
Like we got blue grits and blue cornmeal from them
Yeah.
last week, and they were excited about it. So we've just been cooking with that.
Nice.
And Jess is the same way. Jess is like freaking out over it.
Oh, their food's great too.
She's awesome. She's a great chef.
And that's one of those like you can see like you're talking about trends, and like
Yeah.
Plymouth is such like a microcosm. Everyone's kind of on top of each other. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, we're doing Brussels sprouts. Like, oh, these are really good. Next thing you know, like everyone down the street's doing Brussels sprouts,
Yeah.
and
That's fine as long
Yeah.
as if they're treating it with respect and doing it
oh, if they do it well, then
correctly,
yeah.
that's awesome. And that's such a good thing for a town when people start piggybacking on stuff like that.
Well,
The,
straight
the
up
thing
or
that the
whatever.
thing that kills me
Or copying.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, that's
but-
gonna happen.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if it's
it
not
happens,
not as good, you know, there's
I've had
different
people do,
techniques
yeah.
to make
I've
it.
had people do it to me
Yeah,
that work for me. And
it's
like,
supposed to be flattering.
Like grab my like straight up like
Yeah.
signature stuff. It's whatever. It's
Yeah.
flattering. It is what it is.
It's supposed to be
It
flattering.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found out tonight that, so it's a cool fact to me. Other restaurant people think it's cool. I'm not sure if anyone else cares, but my original opening line
Yeah.
is now all head chefs in Plymouth, which is super.
Really?
Cool.
That is-
5
I think that's
dudes,
really
and they're
cool.
all head chefs in Plymouth.
That's awesome.
I was like, wow, 3 years later, good for them. I guess it's a good it's a good
Yeah.
resume.
Yeah, no,
Which
definitely.
I'm happy about it. I'm like,
Yeah. No, it's a good
that's
thing.
really cool, man. I'm happy everyone's kind of like. I was never mad when
Well,
anyone left either. I was happy for them to leave.
that's
I
a
was like,
really
good for
great
you, man.
thing. Is
Yeah.
it's like, you know, a good person at whatever they do can do what they're doing, but to train other people and show
Yeah,
them and get
right.
them encouraged. You know,
Get
I
them
think
like,
that's
yeah.
great.
I'm
It's
happy for
important,
them all.
man. Especially so much of the knowledge has got lost with just commercial food,
Yeah,
and that's what Mike's been so
Yeah, that's why.
adamantly against.
it drives
Because
me.
you don't have to.
So
have no idea.
this is the
Heavy
weird thing.
cream,
Yeah.
cheese.
But this is the weird
nice
thing. Is
stuff.
like the thing that brought me to Plymouth first was I used to hang out at Fridays, and like so then I moved down here and I'm like, whoa, this is so much better. And now like a friend of mine was like, oh, we went to Fridays, and then I'm like, why? Why would you go to Fridays? Like,
Yeah.
of all the places, why there?
Yeah.
And
You'll
then-
never see me in a corporate restaurant.
Yeah. And
Fridays and any
Unless
of those
it's
places.
KFC when he's sick. Because
Yeah, when I'm sick, I have this weird like childhood thing that I have to get KFC. But Anthony Bourdain, like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
tweeted at 2:30 in the morning because he was hammered, because he's awesome. 2:30 a.m. My hidden secret is KFC at 2:30 in the morning.
But you don't like a Taco Bell drive
Never
through every
been to
once in a
Taco
while?
Bell.
yeah, dude, I'll go
Oh,
Taco
man.
Bell. I'll rock
See?
Taco
Come
Bell.
on.
I've never been there.
Really?
Okay.
No, I've never been to Taco Bell. Not because I just.
It's so
no.
good and horrible all at the same
Yeah.
time.
I get angry about corporate places because I feel like they're just beating down because I own the restaurant now. So
Yeah.
I never owned a restaurant before. I was just the dickhead chef that was spending all the people's money. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
this is hard.
Yeah.
Like I can't just do what I want because I have to like keep in a price range, and the price range is high because all these corporate restaurants are buying like all the. So right now, a friend of mine, very close to here, has chicken fingers. He's like known for like wings, fingers, and burgers.
Mhm.
And he used to do like a half price night. So they're not doing the half price night anymore because the cost of chicken is going up, and he
Right.
makes chicken fingers from scratch.
Yeah. So you can't.
You can actually buy frozen chicken fingers in the restaurant business cheaper than this guy is buying raw chicken and breading them and frying them.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
I.
Why can't you just buy chicken? When you buy raw chicken, it should be cheaper than when you're buying frozen chicken, but that's not how the market works because of restaurants like Fridays. Because
Right.
they're mass producing the frozen product.
Exactly, and they're
for
buying
corporate
so
restaurants.
much of it.
And then so the whole market, like U.S. Foods and Cisco, are making so much because they have to supply the corporate restaurants
Mhm.
that it's cheaper to buy that than it is to actually cook chicken.
Right.
And that's wrong. I don't
Yeah.
like that. It upsets me to no means. Like freaks me out. But when I go,
But
if I go to
but
Exit 7
but I
and
definitely
I
feel
see,
like there's a definite movement of people
Yeah.
that are.
Oh, there
that are
is.
looking
There
for,
is,
for sure.
Like,
but people have to get really. They have to be knowledgeable about it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my biggest pet peeve in Plymouth is that when I go to like the store and I see Olive Garden full, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like Olive
No,
Garden.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't. I'm like,
It's
why
a,
would
it's
that
a red
be?
sauce joint,
Yeah.
and Mamma Mia's is a local company
Mamma
owned by a
Mia's so
local
good.
family.
Yeah.
And they're a red sauce joint, and there's like 4 of them within driving distance.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever go to Olive Garden? You just
Right.
go to Mamma Mia's. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. If you want like basic pasta with pizza and bread, go to Mamma Mia's. Like,
Yeah.
the Viscarella's good people. They're a family-run restaurant, and you go to Olive Garden for what?
Yeah.
For breadstick.
For their never-ending breadsticks
What is
that
that?
are.
That makes no
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Where
I
are
would-
those breadsticks made?
Exactly.
Not by Jake.
and they're not going to taste nearly as good, you know.
No, but that's not even my point. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It drives me crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, TGI Fridays and those places have like a hook. I can understand. Like, I don't go there because I know what the system broken because of people like that. But Fridays has a hook and Chili's has a hook, and people are like, oh, I like this or I like that. I get it.
Like, I know people
But all
who travel a
right,
lot
it's nothing.
that go to them because it's to me it's never good, but it's
Right.
more or less know what you're
Consistent
getting.
corporate
Yeah.
food. Sure.
Yeah, it's safe.
Safe.
Don't get sick.
But I'd rather go to, you know, we were down in Florida a year and a half ago, and like I was on Yelp.
That's
So
what I
Yelp
did.
has to say, let's go find, and we found like the coolest place.
Yelp's
in
an
Florida.
amazing tool,
Yeah.
man.
That's what it
it's
is.
Wonderful.
Man.
And
You have
that
to
is
like put
helpful.
effort into it, and most of the times you'd be surprised. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
we
spots
found
really
this,
cool.
we
Love
found
it.
this like way out of the way. I want to say it's called like Oblivion or something like that. And like we walked in and we opened the door and the dude's all covered in tats and there's like a Misfits poster on the wall and I'm like, a score!
Yeah.
And the food was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was just this great. And of course it was like half empty.
yeah.
You know, that's the sad part. But,
It is. It sucks. I grind. Trust me. If it wasn't for my event company, Nosh would have been closed months ago.
Yeah.
Everyone, because it just especially during the summer when I'm competing against outdoor patios and this and that, and cookouts or whatever.
Yeah. And
It's a
just
rough
that one,
business.
that being that one street away from the water, it makes all the work.
Which I never would want to be at the water either.
Yeah.
Because when tourists do come in, it's getting better.
Yeah.
I think the tourists get better. When we first opened, it was rough. People were like, well, how can you charge $20 for fish and chips when the guy down the street is serving it for $4.95? I'm like, dude, I know my fishmonger's been my dude for 20 years. I know his wife, his children, his nieces, his nephews, his brother. I know where that fish was caught this morning. Like, that's
Right,
why.
yeah.
We hand cut our fries, we blanch our fries, we make our own ketchup, we make our own ale, we made our own. We can fight about this all day, but tourists sometimes, which this year has been a lot different.
Do you ever
It
get
used
do you
to
ever
be-
get the person be like, oh, is this the only ketchup you had? Do you have like Heinz or?
I had a couple of them.
Yeah.
I've told people to leave. If people come
Yeah.
in and then, I mean, not so much during the summer. When we first opened, because during the fall and winter we're really busy.
Yeah.
When people come in and they have like that attitude,
Yeah.
I've told them, not a lot, but
Yeah.
there's been a couple tables where I politely was like, you're probably better off.
Going to.
And I gave them a couple names up on
Yeah,
Main
yeah.
Street and was
Yeah.
like, you should go over there and have some things you probably like better.
Yeah.
And they were appalled by it. I'm not being a dickhead, but there's 45 people trying to get in here.
Right.
And they're going to pay $14 for the burger because they know that I've butchered the
And
meat.
they're going to
and
be
ground it.
perfectly happy
Yeah.
to do so. Yeah.
Which is totally fine. You can go have a $4.95 burger down the street,
Right.
and you're probably going to think it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, you guys have Burger Night there on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Wednesday, right?
Yep, Wednesday, yeah. It's a
And,
nightmare.
oh, no, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's so busy.
I don't care if you suffer; it's tasty.
It's busy. It is. It's such a. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so that's the burgers are what, like $3.50,
$3,
and then
yeah.
you
Toppings
get
are
to
like
top whatever.
10 cents or
Yeah,
15, I don't
yeah.
know.
It's
Yeah.
a great idea. Yeah, and then you
It's
get the-
it's from New World.
yeah. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
They basically when Johnny took over at New World like back in the day, they got rid of Burger Night.
Yeah.
We have similar customers, so a lot of people are like, oh, New World's used to do Burger Night, now they're doing Noodle Night.
Oh, no,
You guys should do, yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, you guys should do Burger Night because your burger's great. And I'm like, we'll try it out, and then just evolved into this like nastiness that we all.
So do you make all the rolls for that?
No.
No.
The only thing we don't make at Nosh,
Yeah.
right? The only thing.
Burger rolls and
That's it. We get Martin's potato rolls, but we're the only restaurant besides Shake Shack that gets Martin potato rolls delivered,
Really?
which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they only deliver to supermarkets like Walmart, Target, and they don't distribute. They're
Yeah.
a self-distributing company. And I was like chasing the dude down because we were buying so many Martin. Because I love Martin's potato rolls, delicious. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want the burger on that. And then I finally found like the boss. He was like, like one tray has like 9 bags in it. We have to do like a minimum of that. I'm like, dude, I need like 15 of those a week. What? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. So they go to like Stop and Shop and Target and Shaw's and Nosh and Walmart. Yeah,
Nice.
it's wicked funny.
That's awesome.
That's the only thing that we haven't, which I probably won't touch because I really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To also, again, it's one of those childhood things. Some of the food on the menu is straight up childhood thing to me.
Yeah. Well,
The
I was
meatloaf bites
going to say the
and the-
first time I came in there, we were talking
It's my
about
baby.
the
I'll never
bacon wrap
change it.
meatloaf.
Yeah, never change it.
You shouldn't, because it's friggin' delicious. So that's pretty much an hour. I want to thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. And the one thing I've been asking of all our guests is there like one thing that you're watching, listening to, reading that you'd like to give a little plug to?
I've been reading this book by Ha Jin. He's a Chinese author. It's called Waiting, actually. It's a book about Chinese immigrants coming to America.
Chick's totally making this up.
No.
Really?
There
he is.
After the
I have a funny story about making something up in a second.
He's lying.
no,
Jake tells stories.
they leave China after Tiananmen Square, and they find themselves in rural Middle America.
Nebraska?
No, it's not Nebraska. It's I think it's Iowa actually, and they find a little Chinese food restaurant, and they open it up, and it's about the Chinese American struggle. It's called Waiting. It's an actual book. It won the National Book Award. Look it up.
The National Book Award?
Yeah.
That sounds
That's fake.
good.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's how good I am at telling fake stories.
Yeah. I'm way more mainstream.
Yeah,
Mr. Robot. Well,
Oh, Mr. Robot. Yeah,
so
that's
good.
really good.
Yeah. I just started. It's so good.
Yeah. Last night, I was walking down by the jetty with my girlfriend, and there were people like out kayaking. She's like, "Oh, we should rent some kayaks." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down for yakking." And she's like, "Yak?" I'm like, "That's the verb." I'm like,
Right.
"Kai is the boat; it's a Inuit word, and yakking is the verb." And she's like, "Oh, you're making this up, aren't you?" And I'm like, "No."
We did that today.
Yeah.
We have the first course of the Bramhouse dinner on Saturday. We needed greens for it. We're doing a bruschetta dish, like a fresh bruschetta thing. And I was like, he was like, we need to get some greens for it. And I'm like, oh man. Went to the market. They didn't really have the farmer's market today. They didn't have anything like fresh. Well, not fresh, but
Well,
they didn't have anything.
they didn't have the
They didn't have what
Yeah.
we wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, let's do. We have baby watercress, like hydroponic baby watercress. I'm like, let's do some hydroponic baby watercress. He's like, I don't know, man. It's good. I think it's like peppery. I'm like, water. And he goes, cress. Cress is peppery, and I'm like. I think both of us, we were both bullshitting each other. Like I said water for no, and he was like cress. Like he ended up being right, but both of us were lying to each other.
Yeah.
Like he was like, we both like adamant that we had knowledge on the thing, on the flavor profile. We
Yeah.
both like complete bullshit. Like water. He's like, the cress is super, dude. Cress is spicy. And I'm like, water. He's like, watermelon isn't. I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah. Total bullshit.
But I was right, though. You know, God bless us all.
Sometimes the student surpasses the teacher.
That's awesome, guys. Yeah, so if any of our listeners are in town Wednesday, and we get this up before Wednesday, check out Jake down by Plymouth Rock where he's playing. Feel free to like us on Facebook. Nosh has a Facebook page,
Yep.
correct? As well.
Nosh Tavern.
And do you guys have a Twitter?
Plymouth Food Police on Facebook
Oh, and YouTube, right?
and YouTube.
Yeah,
Just
check
released a
that
new
out.
video an hour or half an hour before we came here.
And you can follow Inebri-art on Twitter at AndySweetMonkey. And please rate and comment on this podcast. And a few other things that we have going on. We have our next life drawing at the New World Tavern on the 12th of September. Our friends at Triptych Press have launched Chroma's Volumes 3 and 4, and you can pick those up at triptychpress.com. And on the 8th of October, we'll be doing our first Inebri-art art show at the Dirty Water Distillery, so look for details at Inebri-art.com. And that'll be that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. That was fun.
Wonderful.
Thanks a lot.